Hey everybody, welcome to Maine Wedding Buzz. I'm really excited because today we have Lauren Rachel Designs and she's going to be talking about all her new designs for your wedding. So thank you, Lauren, for joining us.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about how you got started in the wedding industry.
Well, I've been dabbling in it for the last 5 or 6 years, and I came from advertising, so I've been doing advertising and marketing for about 10 years, and I've had friends and family kind of ask me to do their wedding stationery, and I really enjoyed it. So it kind of, it felt right timing, and so I've been doing it more recently and kind of calling it my business.
Nice. And so did you get it, how did you do this, like individually, did you go to school for this part of it, or it just all kind of?
My background's in, it's in graphic design. So
Okay.
I graduated from Maine College of Art.
Okay.
I painted, I drew, I did lots of illustration. I was actually almost an illustration minor.
Oh, wow.
So I have a painting background. So marrying both computer and art and paint together is kind of where my stuff lands. So I do have that kind of traditional art aspect when I do my work.
And how did you come up with your name? I always love that story. I love hearing how people put their name together. And I know, because we talked about it earlier, that Rachel is your middle name, but I love that it says Lauren Rachel Design. It just flows really well.
Yes, thank you. Well, middle name Rachel, so I'm actually getting married at the end of the year, so using my maiden name, Myers. Thank you. My middle name, Myers, I decided I didn't want to commit to it, and then, people would confuse me with my married name, Maston, so I decided Lauren Rachel had a nice kind of ring and a flow to it, so I went with that.
And who do you create for? Is it, do the bride and grooms, or the grooms and brides, do they come to you? How do the couples find you?
I do a little bit of both. A lot of, like I said, it's been a lot of referrals more recently. So family members suggesting that I work with friends that they know. So I'm kind of in that third degree right now of people that I know. So, but I speak to anybody and everybody, and it's not just bridal work. I've actually done events, corporate events, as well as I've done bridal shower information. I've done invitations for babies. I've done all sorts of stuff.
Do they come to you with the idea, or do you have like with us, somebody will sit down and they say, well, I want this, and do you sort of kind of put it together from the conversation, or do they come to you with an idea and then you sort of kind of create it for them? How does it work in your part of the industry?
It's a little bit of both. Often when a couple comes to me, they have an idea in mind, but they're really looking for my kind of expertise and my kind of design to kind of help push them into something that's a little bit more exciting and individual. So they're looking to me to kind of help them with that. And I never go into a design where I certainly know exactly what that bride or groom or bride, groom wants. I go in and I make extra suggestions, like, if you really want to jazz it up, you could add a really beautiful envelope lining, or we could do calligraphy on your envelope. So I always try to come in, and after I get to know the couple, I try to come in with other really nice ideas to kind of elevate it a little bit and just make it a little extra oomph.
Well, that's it. Do they also come to you? Does Pinterest also have a whole design area for this on the Pinterest boards? So they also. So I'm going to take it that they bring you their Pinterest board as well, like they do with
yes,
us.
that's actually more. I've had more suggestions for brides and grooms to put together their own Pinterest boards of their likes. And I have my own, so I have my own Pinterest boards with inspiration. And I always suggest, if you don't know where to start, check out my pin board. If you find something you like, just let me know.
And show it. This is the envelope lining here.
So these are some really fun, snazzy, first of all, very fun, snazzy
envelopes.
Your
wedding,
this
right?
is my wedding, yes. So I did line the inside of these with black and gold. I'm getting married on New Year's Eve. So,
and I love that. So that this is just something. So when you're opening, it's still, you're just getting the wow effect.
Yes, exactly. And it's super simple. It's just it's not super expensive either to add just an envelope lining to kind of elevate once again the overall look of something. So
And people are saving invitations now, which I think is, it's been something that's always been done. People love
Traditional
to save
memento,
them, and especially the
yes.
bride and groom, you'll have it forever.
Absolutely.
So you want something that's beautiful and that you're not making at home. I think that you really, this is something, this
Yeah.
is the first impression of your wedding. Do you?
Exactly. I
Nice.
totally agree.
So-
Yes. Because, I mean, a lot of people still do, like you're seeing more often now, digital, which is, there's nothing wrong with digital at all. I've done it before, and I
But you
think
can't
it's
save
great.
it.
But
Well, you can
there's,
save it on
like the scrapbooking. A lot
Yeah.
of people like to scrapbook or like to have those mementos that they can go back to. And something that's really nice about what I'm able to do is I'm able to create something that lasts, like a picture or photograph, something that lasts forever that you can actually show and share, something you can be a little bit proud of. So digital's great. And actually I'm seeing more often people do the digital RSVP. Which with most of the wedding websites these days, with a lot of the free services, they have that option available for
But
couples
do you help
to
with
do.
those as well? Do you design that?
Absolutely, I
So
can
you'll
do those as
design the
well.
whole that
Yep.
part of the.
Yep,
Wow. And then
absolutely.
how do you come up with doing? I'm going to use this one again because
Sure.
it's yours. And you're getting married. Did you come up with this inspiration? So you do all of this with this extra, I guess, sort of a sleeve cuff almost.
Yeah, it's called a belly band.
Okay.
And it's just a piece of paper that wraps all the way around and kind of encloses it. There's also not just belly bands, but you also have other ways to encase everything. So this is a folio. So it has
Oh, I
a little
like that.
pocket with the invitation, and then you can tuck accommodations cards, maps into the side. This also had the RSVP tucked into it as well.
So it almost becomes, if you're a destination wedding, you actually can have this, and all your information is actually in here. So when you arrive, you know what's going on.
Yeah, it's
and-
like it's just a little packet
Wow.
for day of, and it's great for folks who are inviting large, parties or family into a place they've never been.
Yeah, this is wonderful, and I love the feel of it, the paper
Yeah,
and
thank
everything. Is it costly when things are heavier, or does it fall the same amount of money when people are doing the postage?
The postage will add up, obviously. For this one in particular, if it's over an ounce, it's going to cost you more closely to like 75 cents. So you can actually buy postage, like one stamp that's worth the 75 cents, or you can get multiple stamps. Some couples really love, there's some gorgeous vintage stamps out there that you can kind of add up and kind of marry together and make a story with that are
wow.
beautiful.
Can you design stamps that match the invitation?
Yes, you can.
You can. Oh my God, that's really cool. So that
Yeah.
so when you get the envelope, because I was just thinking about that. If this looks like this,
Yes.
and the stamp would match it, incredible.
Yeah.
That's wow.
So I have my save the date was actually it was gold sparkles because I had taken a photo. My fiance is a photographer, so we did our own photo shoot and we threw gold sparkles up into the air
Oh,
and
wow.
cheersed our champagne. So I put the stamp was in gold sparkles and it said save the date.
Nice.
So yeah, the stamps can be customized. Pretty much anything you can imagine
Can be done.
Can be done, and it's not just the invitations. It's
that's
everything.
incredible.
Menus. It's programs, favors, custom
So you
labels.
do all of that stuff.
I do
That's
all
great.
of that stuff.
And so tell us a little bit about these in the back as well, because this is the first one I
This is
saw,
the first
and
one that I
love
shared
that
with
one.
you. Yeah. So this one is actually taking place in September, end of September, and the couple is actually from Denver, and they came to me unknowing of where to kind of go with their wedding. They'd had kind of a location. They knew that they wanted to be in Kennebunkport, but they didn't know where. So I made some suggestions. They're going to actually be at the Nonanto.
Nice. Big shout out to Tim for that.
So I went over and I took photographs, and I actually walked. I hadn't been to Kennebunkport in so long, so I walked around and I actually came up with a map with roughly about 10 places. In the downtown area that were really nice, restaurants and stores and shopping, and then even like fun things, like if somebody wanted to go out lobstering,
It's on there.
It's on there. So, and then I also was able to use the Nonantum to make some extra adventure suggestions. So they had a couple of other tours
So
that they
when
would
it's
offer.
when it's a destination, it's a weekend, and you don't want to really. Here's your basically your concierge is right in your hand.
Right, exactly.
Wow, that's very,
so
very cool.
it helps, it helps to kind of entertain them for the weekend. I mean, some people might not show up until, right before, but then there's other folks that go and they're like, I want to explore.
So you make a lot of the choices for your clients too, and help them with that part of it
Absolutely.
too.
If they need it,
Yep.
I'm more than willing to
So you're
do
more
that.
than just the designer. You're just full service because you're helping them
Absolutely.
put everything together.
And I
'Cause
love to. This is part of one of my most favorite parts of working with couples is it's the first conversation. It's learning and kind of getting to fall in love all over again and learning their story and learning more about what it is that they envision for their big day, because it's important. It's a
And a
big
lot of
part
times,
of it.
when they're talking to you, a lot of them don't know how to actually word out invitations. It
Right.
really depends on
Exactly.
who's paying for the wedding.
Right.
If it's the parents of the bride, then they should be the first to
Right.
be on the invitation.
There's super traditional
So-
ways of approaching, and there's also I'm finding more people are putting both parents on the invitation and saying both of them are contributing.
And a lot of times too, we recently did a party, and I realized that they probably forgot to put cocktail party on
Oh
the
no.
wedding invitation, and it was a cocktail party. There was no
Yeah.
dinner. It was cocktails for 3 hours, and I
Cocktails
think
and
that
appetizers,
you
yeah.
should remember those things when you're doing your invitations too. Whether it's going to be dinner or
Yeah.
if it's a 1 o'clock
a really
church
good
service,
example.
then
My wedding's unusual. I am actually I'm getting married at 6 p.m. and
Okay.
we're dancing over midnight.
Nice.
So dinner will be served late.
Wow.
So I actually put in my invitation, it says cocktails and hors d'oeuvres at 6:30 p.m. Dinner at 8.
Nice.
because For the older folks, it's going to be a little
That they
later.
understand.
You need to have a snack, and then dancing starts at 9. So I actually
put the
wrote it
timeline
all
on
out
there
so that
they know
everybody
what's going
knew
on. Let
exactly.
me see the back of that because it's sort of flipped.
So this one's unusual because it gives the guest an opportunity to choose between sending an "I'm coming" card or "I'm not going to be able to make it." So,
Shucks, that's cute.
and then on the back, they fill out their informations, any dietary restrictions, which a lot of venues and caterers will ask for
Absolutely.
that, and then they can also leave me "I'm sorry, I can't make it" message. So yeah, this
I
one's a
love
little
that.
unusual. It's a little bit more
like it.
expensive because of the
Yeah, the way it's
larger
cut.
space, but
And then how's the back look on that? So then on the back is just
so the
wedding.
back has information about my
Location.
location, what attire our guests should wear, and if there's any additional information like gifts. We also we went with no kids,
Nice.
so we're a 21 plus,
Yep.
so we can.
It's a
serve
New Year's
drinks.
Eve wedding.
Yes,
So.
late night, exactly.
So you wanna-
And then we also have a shuttle. So I
Put
told
it
them
all
when the
in there.
bus was all going to go. So this becomes the thing that they take with them, so that
that's
they
one of
know
the
where to
questions
go.
I had. So that's sort of like one of those extra things that you can add to an invitation.
Absolutely.
So you can
that you don't
customize.
get with invitations through any of the online stores where you purchase. You can customize absolutely to a certain point, but if you really want to specifically say something on your invitation, it's going to be very difficult to do that. with
And you have some
that
people
stuff.
that are over the top and want some invitations that are super elaborate and just are
beautiful
just full,
papers
exactly.
and
so,
yes, absolutely. And I still have the ability to
Now,
do that
did
as
you
well.
create this map? Is that you
Yes,
drew that?
I drew this digitally on my computer, and then I watercolor painted.
Okay, so you painted it, colored it, and it's all your
Drew
work.
it
Oh,
all
wow.
together, yes. Actually, all of this whole invitation was painted and drawn leaves. So I did some drawings and then put them over the top of the watercolor paint.
Wow.
So they came out beautiful, vibrant color. This couple was definitely wanted that kind of fall aspect, September, Maine. And all the natural elements, acorns and little branches and stuff like that.
And one quick question: when the client comes, do you send out a final copy for them to look, and then is that how that works? Because I'll tell you a little story. When Ruben's sister got married, and she'll probably kill me for saying this, but she did her invitations online, and when she proofed them, we all missed the word Biddeford.
Oh no.
And it was wrong. It was misspelled. And nobody from Philadelphia
Because
would
you
have
always
done
go
it.
over the top of it. You always
And
flow
so
over-
we
yeah.
looked at everything, and it looked right, but there were, I think, one too many D's. And so once it's proofed,
Right.
is that the same way for you
It's
as
the
well?
same. I mean, I do a free digital proof over the internet, over email. I give you a week to review,
Yep.
make sure that everything looks good, and I highly encourage
More than one
couples,
person.
more than one person to look at it. I mean, I totally get, you're in a rush or whatever, but it is so
time.
important to take the time
Because
to
we have
proofread.
4 college graduates, and we all missed it. Not me, I'm not the college graduate, but
Yes.
just saying.
But I mean, I even like for myself too, and I do this myself with
Yeah.
my own blogs and my own anything that's lengthy writing. I absolutely put it through a friend who's either a writer, has proofreading
can look at it.
skills, just somebody who hasn't seen it before. Fresh eyes is a very
Always good.
important thing.
Now, the other question I had is, once it's done, do you give the client all of this and they have to put it together like this? With
Yes, right.
So they have to put
A
it
little
together, or
package.
do you put it together?
I've done both.
Okay.
And I can offer both. So I can stuff and stamp.
Okay.
I can address, and I can do either handwritten addressing or calligraphy, or I can also do printed on the envelopes.
Are you a calligrapher?
I do. I
Wow.
do have skills in that. I actually took a fantastic type class learning how to do my own types in
excellent.
college. So I have some pretty decent skills, brush strokes and whatnot. I'm very good at that stuff, so I enjoy it. It's very
Have you
therapeutic.
seen, I think it's called letterpress, where it looks like an old typewriter?
Yes,
Is
I
that
do
coming
letterpress.
back?
Absolutely.
Because we were talking about it
Such a
at an
tradition.
event, and people were looking at us like we had 4 heads, and I'm like, no, it's like a typewriter, like the old-fashioned typewriter.
It's a press. It's a little embossed, and it's an old way of doing. It's the original way of actually
Nice.
printing.
Nice.
And basically, what I've found is it's starting to come back, but also what's also really becoming hot right now too is like
Things like this.
colored paper
Yeah.
and having white type over it. A lot of people like the dark colors.
I love the dark and the gold and
Yeah.
the white that you've done there. I mean,
Thank
these
you.
are beautiful.
Yes.
But this stands out like boom.
It's different. It is
Yeah.
unusual, which that's one of the things that what makes my job more enjoyable and exciting is when I can really kind of almost challenge the paper and challenge the resources to do something really different
And
and,
it makes you
unseen.
want to go to the party.
Absolutely.
Because when something comes in the mail and it's sort of just a one sheet, and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
but if there's a
invitation.
lot of
Yeah.
activity on that you're looking at, and you get to
Or
send
that you
something
touch,
back.
like
Exactly.
letterpress, the
I love
papers
the
are
feel,
cotton
so-
and they're heavy and they're beautiful.
It's like a picture.
It
I don't want to
is,
hold a
yeah.
disc. I want to hold the picture.
Right.
There's something about holding something in your hand that to me is really special.
Totally different
So,
from the digital aspect.
Tell us a
Absolutely.
little bit about your stuff back here.
This is another kind of like folio idea that actually includes a map. It has the main invitation. I started with this couple at the save the date,
Nice.
which is fantastic. It doesn't always happen that way, and that's perfectly fine. But these guys started with me with a save the date, and then we started kind of working together to try to figure out what we're going to do. The main kind of
green.
the main theme, bride loved green, and she wanted to do apples. It was like,
Throughout the whole
hands
thing.
down, we
Nice.
have to do that. So she also really, really loves Mad Libs. So her
Nice.
RSVP is a Mad Lib.
Nice.
I'll show you. So it's really hard to see, but and then over on the far right here is the program. So this was the Mad Libs. So you fill out your name, you fill out some adjectives, some verbs, and then you also tell them, a little bit about what you want to eat and what you're going to dance to on the dance floor.
Nice. Very cool.
So those are a lot of fun because that also kind of brings a little bit of activity.
Yeah.
So you open it up and you're excited because I get to customize and personalize it. So your guests have a little bit of fun with that.
And it's also a keepsake for them.
Absolutely.
Because 10 years from now, they're reading these and laughing again about a special
Absolutely.
moment in their in
so
time.
great. So that's the save the date and the program. A little closer. So those little apples are punch outs that we glued,
Oh, wow.
hand glued on each one. So they actually stand off the page a little bit, which is great. And then I did a big map for these guys. These guys were getting married in Dedham, Maine. and they were getting, or they were having their reception in Dedham, Maine. Hotel was in Dedham, Maine, but they were getting married in Bangor, in the big church.
Wow. Okay.
So we had to provide a map with the location, and then when we were doing it, I said, well, why don't we include some other things, like the guys might want to go golfing, the guys might want, there's stores, there's shopping, so we added a few other details on there for them, and then some very specific directions from one point to the other.
Excellent.
And then these guys, these
You do favorites.
they maxed out, yes. So they did apple jelly, so we did a little custom label on that. And then they had gift baskets that had the maps, it had information about the location, and then we did a bottle of wine in each one that had their own custom label on it. And then it's just a close-up of this guy that we had.
Mm-hmm. I love the colors really stand out. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
I said that to you before.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah, so this is the corporate holiday event that I did, and it's actually printed on.
I didn't know you. I must have missed that because they looked really good.
It's printed on this. This is a metallic paper that has like a little bit of a sheen to it, so it has a little gold and silver.
Yeah.
It's really not speaking in the photographs, but really beautiful paper, and it dresses up so easily, and it's not super expensive. So these guys, that was Chinese New Year with a horse.
Thanks for a little shout out for the Masonic Temple. Woo! It was a beautiful invitation. And you also did menu cards for the Chinese table.
I did. I did the menu cards, and I did the taxi vouchers as well. Yeah, it was a nice little grouping.
Did you create the horse image? Was that through you?
I did, yeah,
And
the
did
big
you do
sheet.
the sheet.
Right.
Was that you as well?
That was me. I had the resources
God.
for the location
That
to
was
get it printed.
excellent, because that's how they came through it was Chinese New Year's, and it was the
And
year of the horse.
Yep. It was,
Oh, wow.
Yep, it was excellent. This
Did
is
you get
this
to keep
one.
it?
I didn't get to keep it. I wish well, that's part of it too, is like keeping all those samples and resources.
I like the black and the color, like you said earlier.
And this is actually, was taking place at a winery. This couple was so much fun. They actually are movie buffs.
Oh, wow.
So they're Save the Date. I did a knockoff movie poster.
Oh, wow.
So you opened it up and was a poster that said, "Live free or get married."
Nice.
So those guys were fun. And they wanted something a little techy, a little quirky and fun, which was great. Each of their tables too had a movie name for the table numbers. This wedding, again, a little folio, and it opens up a little differently.
Yeah, I saw it. Nice.
And that one has a little pocket. This one had a postcard RSVP that was also a Mad Lib. And it had a space for a postage, so she put a postage on it, and it already had her name printed on it, so we just had to throw it in the mail with the Mad Lib. And she did an award, like a superlatory at the wedding for best cards for best music choice, best response card, most popular.
Nice.
It was excellent. It was so much fun. And I also did her wedding showers and her program. So the program is over on the far right, and it actually
does that open three different ways?
Three different
ways.
That.
I noticed it right away.
And it highlights the different sections of the ceremony.
So your program becomes your whole thing for the whole evening.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yep.
And I love menu cards on a table. I mean, it really does. You don't
It does.
It really helps with older folks who want to know what the food is because they've forgotten 6 months ago that they ordered chicken.
Right,
So
right, exactly. Or even when they
it'll
go
jog
up,
your memory.
yeah, exactly. And then this is a map, the backside of the map. So she also did about 4 different hotels that you could stay at in Burlington, Vermont, and did from the location to Burlington what the directions were for each one. So. And that was her accommodations and her Mad Lib.
I like that with the.
And this, super simple. This one is only, this was a 3-piece, and it was just a postcard, RSVP, and then a main invitation, and that was it.
Yeah.
Very simple, very elegant. Wrapped it up with a pretty little purple and green bow.
Each thing fits every person.
And everybody has a budget. Everybody wants, to do a certain thing, and that's what I like to do. I like to problem solve creatively. How can we do it so that it fits within the budget, but it still has that kind of elevated, elegant, individual feel. This one also had a program. So this one was a barn wedding with the cows
Yeah.
actually over in the field right next door.
Nice.
And then here's just a little sampling of favors. So this is spiced rum.
Nice. For the
and
labels and everything.
And
you
the
designed those
labels,
too.
yep. So they wanted to do the very rustic feel of like the jar, and then they wanted a label on the jar. And I most definitely could have done a label on the side, but I really, really
that.
wanted this wraparound kind of break the seal and open up that awesome pineapple rum.
Wow. Now, do you get the product and then you have to put the label on, or do they put the label on themselves?
Sometimes it's a discussion.
Okay.
Sometimes the couple isn't sure what to do for favors,
Okay.
and it becomes a debate of, what kind of money do you want to spend? How do you want to individualize it? A lot more folks actually are doing, home craft beer and or champagne or something like that. So
Because see how well that the label's on there. Sometimes if you give them to me, say I was getting married and
yeah.
I would rush, and I don't think it would be that perfect. So
Yeah,
I find the
I
same
can
thing?
do I
Okay.
can do the labels myself. I also some vendors will do it like on location.
Okay.
Like some catering company, like if they're doing like French macaroons, for instance,
we'll
and they have a little box, I can make the labels.
And
They
we just
can
pop it
peel
right
and
on.
pop them on.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's good to know. That's a cute.
And this is actually my own when I asked my bridesmaids to be.
And
to
that's
be my
becoming
bridesmaid.
very popular now.
Yes.
Doing invitations to
Invitations,
become maid
little
of honor.
cards, yeah. So what I did was I tried to do something that not only informed the person receiving that they were invited to be in my wedding and be in my wedding party, but I also wanted them to be able to see
Who's in there.
everybody else that was going to be
So
there.
Carly got hers, and then she saw everybody
And
else.
she saw the
That's
other bridesmaids.
adorable.
So, and thankfully they all said yes. So I didn't have to. That would have been rough.
Then that would have been a little bit difficult, and you have to cut one of them out and restart again.
Right, exactly. So the memento was really nice. Actually, they
love
all
that.
still have them because they thought it was fantastic. But it
It's
was
a great idea.
It was really,
Great idea.
really fun. But yeah, that's what I have.
I love it. That's a great idea. So
you.
what's been your most elaborate design?
My own wedding.
I'm guessing you went over the top with it, with all the stuff that you wanted to do.
I have like a passion for paper and for that tradition. So when it actually came to doing designs and picking things to do, I've been looking for years at other people's stuff and going, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I don't want to do
pick
that,
it
but I'll kind of.
So do you
figuring it out.
save stuff? Like I
Absolutely.
keep a treasure trove of things I like from other people that I find, and I have them in boxes, and then I just go to that box for either inspiration or a look.
Absolutely. I get a lot of inspiration comes in many different places, from many different places. It's not always just kind of sweeping the web. It's
IKEA, it could be Macy's, it could be anywhere.
Anywhere.
I do
And
the same thing.
I could be sleeping and I have to get up and I start jotting it down because I can't sleep until it's out. But yeah, it comes from all different places. I take a lot of photographs. I do a lot of hiking, camping, so I'm really inspired by nature.
Cool.
I like the natural form, and we live in such a beautiful place where we can be in the city and then we can be in the country just like that. So.
And what's your favorite part of the job that you say, well, this is why I don't do this anymore, and now it's my business, and this is why I love it?
There's a couple things. I mentioned before, I really love the first conversation with the couple because, again,
That's when you get to know them. And
and you feel that excitement, and you share in that excitement, and really, it's one of the most important moments that you have with a couple is when you
click.
You click, exactly. You have that moment. So that's one of my favorite, and then I'd say the second favorite is when I get the ecstatic call when they receive the whole, because sometimes you can't picture it. Sometimes it's, I'm not really sure. And I've done this with my fiance too. We have everything all together and I'm like, I think I want to do this. I think it should be like this. And I can talk them into it. And it's a risk. Sometimes it's a risk. And sometimes the risk is worth doing.
The excitement. We felt the same thing. We did a wedding this weekend and totally switched her design from when she came. She had already picked everybody else, and then we were the last component. And I said, why don't we do this instead? Because it seems like this is really what you want. And on faith, they took me, and I got the most beautiful note, and their expressions the day of, and everything was worth it. Because then you start going, oh my God, did I make the right decisions for her? but I envisioned it a different way
Yeah.
based on meeting them and the conversation. I said, you know, this is really what you really want.
Right.
We're just
And that's why we do
and it
this.
worked.
That's why we do this, because we want to be able to have that ability to
say, "Hey."
creatively, like, I think it could flow better this way, or it could go better this way.
And it did,
And it did.
and so-
And sometimes, you know, they don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know, so.
What's currently trending in your neck of the woods for this industry?
Big trends are the dark papers
Mm-hmm.
and watercolor. So like brush, what am I saying? Brushed fonts.
Yeah.
So like really looks like it's handwritten
Okay.
fonts. And then the dark papers are kind of coming back. People want to elevate
Mm-hmm.
too without spending a ton of money. And there's definitely little things that you can do that might cost just a little bit more, but not blow your budget out.
Cool.
So.
Any exciting plans that you have on the horizons?
Well, I am really looking forward to, I'm going to be heading into my busy season, I believe. I'm off season.
Nice.
For everybody else in the wedding season is going to be my on season. So
Good for
I'm
you.
excited. It's going to be a fun winter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to kind of getting to know other industry providers, vendors here locally, but also kind of expanding.
Yeah.
I think it's really
You can go all over.
amazing.
You're not just here. You can have a client from
Absolutely.
California that just wants the invitations shipped
Right,
out. So you're really
exactly.
lucky because you can ship your product
I can
out
go
anywhere.
which is what I'm hoping is that I can expand into different locations.
Nice.
And it's really, it's just been a learning process. It's been a great learning process here. And all the vendors I've met have been so friendly and so full of information that has been excellent
Good
in
for
me
you.
learning about my business.
Congratulations. Tell everybody how they can find you because it'll be on the show, but
Yes.
I always like everybody to...
You can find me online at laurenrachel.com. And I'm also on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram for any inspiration.
So check all those out and make sure you like her
Yes,
on Facebook.
absolutely.
These are wonderful designs. Thank you for taking the time and coming out to talk to us.
Thank you.
As always, everybody, thank you for joining us on Maine Wedding Buzz, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.